If you watch Ant-Man and you don't see this, you'll probably still get it. But at the same time, it will hit much harder if you watch this and then see him again in Ant-Man, because I'm guaranteeing a very different portrayal of the exact same character. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Whole Views. Today we're going to be talking about the season finale of Loki. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. We do all kind of Marvel stuff. We do trailer reactions, movie reviews. They got Firearms Friday. Whole lot of things coming your way. So please subscribe if you like the content. The question for today's episode, I would love it if you would drop a comment and let us know here. Are you satisfied? Me and my producer had a discussion. I was satisfied initially watching this ending. He was not. After that discussion, it helped me to kind of understand. I was satisfied. If you weren't, I get it. Let's break it down. So I said in my Black Widow review that Marvel is probably in a place right now where they would benefit and they would not lose people if they did some type of recap, or if they, in this case, like really let people know more about their future projects and like really put it out there. Now, for the people who are really plugged into Hollywood and the people who get hired to do things, we all know what I'm alluding to. But for the general audience, I think of my wife all the time. She would have no idea. If you are a person who do not know about the future Marvel projects and you don't want to be spoiled on other projects that are coming, now is the time to be exiting. You know, go read some stuff, come back. For those who are in the know, we know as soon as we saw Jonathan Majors, like, that's Kang. They called him in this episode He Who Remains, but I knew. It's like, oh, Kang. Great. Initially, I watched Jonathan Majors' performance. I thought to myself, wow, great performance. I like it. I like that he's so nonchalant. I like that he's so willing to just give them free will and like charge over his life. Like, they can kill you. And he was just like, yeah, it's fine. I've been doing this a long time. I'm good to go. So when me and my producer talked, he introduced me to the thought of like, yo, what if you was watching this with Becky and y'all get to this reveal of He Who Remains? Do you know how much explaining you would have to do? And I was like, man, you know what? That is very, very correct. I would have to break down why I recognize Jonathan Majors. Like, I heard he's gonna be playing somebody. He's gonna be Kang. First question would have been, who is Kang? Why is he important? I would have to explain, like, oh, he's set up to be the villain of the next Ant-Man movie. Next question would be, when's that coming out? It seems like we would end up going down a rabbit hole. Like, the episode would have to be paused and let's go down this rabbit hole to explain why this dude is important. Now, is there exposition in the episode? Of course. There's exposition in the episode about who He Who Remains is, but it's just not strong enough to bring along a general audience member, in my opinion. So if there are people out there who watched this episode and was like, I didn't really care for the big reveal and the way things kind of ended, I would feel you. Now, for those of us who know, it was fine to me. I enjoyed it, you know, the whole way through. Biggest shocker in the episode for me is that we're getting a season 2. Now, mind you, I am plugged in, but I'm not that plugged in to where I think it was quoted a few weeks ago by Campia and maybe others who knew there was going to be a season 2. But as I watched through the credits and I saw Loki will be back for season 2, I was like, oh, great. Because the way things ended was kind of like, what is going on? One timekeeper in the TVA, Mobius and B-15, they don't know you? Wow, that's weird. So in that regard, I'm very glad that they're giving us some more to work with. Although, again, it's gonna get real, everything's gonna get real connected, because years ago, Feige said you won't have to watch these TV shows to understand the movies. If you watch Ant-Man and you don't see this, you'll probably still get it. But at the same time, it will hit much harder if you watch this and then see him again in Ant-Man, because I'm guaranteeing a very different portrayal of the exact same character. And you won't even notice the contrast if you don't see one without the other, or the significance to the wider the wider universe. As always, everything that took place in the episode was very stellar as far as the performances and everything else. I was quite disappointed to see Sylvie did not have a change of heart, but it does offer a bit of uniqueness for our Loki. Our Loki that we followed was the only one outside of the old Loki who slipped past his time and lived on that solitary planet. They are the only two that we have good confirmation that they had a real change of heart and became trustworthy, good characters. Everyone else, in the void, as well as Sylvie herself, tend to put their own interests first, or come across as possibly villainous, also come across as definitely backstabby. Our Loki started that way. We saw the change very rapidly, to kind of parallel the change we saw over the course of 23 movies in the first, the phase 1 through 4 or 3 or wherever we at now. We saw his transition 2 times, you know what I'm saying, from bad to good. So I think that's very unique that our Loki actually changed who he was, and the only other one who did that was the classic Loki, who kind of sacrificed himself in I think it was the last episode. I'm good with the show though. I don't have any kind of negatives to bring. Again, if I kind of laid it out, if you were one of those people who was like, it wasn't good, I feel you. But I think anyone who's in the know and they saw Jonathan Majors and instantly said, bam, this is Kang, then they'll be fine. But if you weren't one of those people, I could definitely see what was unsatisfactory to you. So please make sure to let me know in the comments about how you felt on this episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this, and enjoy yourself. But guard your heart. Come back and check out more videos on the channel.